Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. My name is Jacob and today we're finally doing it. We're doing the reaction to the Shin Ultraman trailer. So I was meant to do this basically right after I was filming my last video, but I ended up holding it up for a few days, so I've been kind of excited to get to this one. Just some context before we actually get into the reaction video itself. I don't really know much about Ultraman. I'm a huge Godzilla fan, all that tokusatsu stuff I love, but for whatever reason I haven't got into Ultraman yet. All I've really seen from it is I've seen the opening episode of the original Ultraman series, so I kind of get the gist of where Ultraman came from, that first episode. I've seen lots of clips. I know a lot of Godzilla kaiju have shown up in the Ultraman series, at least the original Ultraman series, because I know that Tsuburaya, the dude who did the special effects in the Showa era, or was leading the special effects at least in the Showa era of the Godzilla movies, he did a lot of work on the Ultraman series, and there was a lot of, for budgetary reasons, they reused a lot of the same suits and stuff like that from the Godzilla series in the Ultraman TV series. So that's basically all I've seen of like classic Ultraman. I haven't seen any of the other sort of newer films, but I have seen the Netflix anime version, which is kind of like a sequel to the original Ultraman series, except for it's in anime form and they don't get big. Like Ultraman is like, human size, and the kaiju are human size. It's really weird. I kind of figured since it was an anime they could have like gone even crazier with making things big, but no, I don't know. That was a bit odd, but it was an enjoyable series. Anyhows, the reason I am gonna check out this version of Ultraman in particular is because it is by the same people who made Shin Godzilla, and as you can see by this extremely expensive figure which I'm holding, I am quite an avid fan of Shin Godzilla, so I really am looking forward to this Ultraman film, if it's going to be anywhere near as good, hopefully, fingers crossed, as Shin Godzilla. So it's going to be directed by Shinji Higuchi. He was the one of the directors of Shin Godzilla. He did predominantly work on the special effects, visual side of things, and Hideaki Anno of Neon Genesis Evangelion fame is the other director. Now he wrote and is producing Shin Ultraman, but I think he's a bit busy, or was a bit busy, working on the newest Evangelion rebuild film. I think that's the fourth one, which I'm super excited to actually see when that comes out, if it'll ever come out. So he wasn't like directing this Shin Ultraman film, but still the same people working on it, and probably the same production companies and all that good stuff anyway. One funny little thing which I thought I'd bring up was, it's kind of cool that Hideaki Anno is producing, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I have heard that he actually starred or played Ultraman in like his own sort of home movie version of Ultraman back when he was much younger and just making home movie films, which is kind of funny that it's gone full circle to making an actual Ultraman film. Shin Godzilla from them, and now we have Shin Ultraman. So Shin it has a few meanings, but basically it either means true, new, or God. So that kind of made sense in terms of this Godzilla, but I'm wondering how it will make sense in terms of Ultraman. So I guess it's like the new true version or something like that. Anyhows, let's jump right into this teaser trailer. It's only like 30 seconds long, so, I doubt we're going to see very much. I've already seen lots of figures popping up from this film, so I know the Ultraman design is very faithful. I really don't know much more aside from that, so yeah, let's jump right in. So already this is looking very familiar. This is like the same font that we had in Shin Godzilla, both in the trailers and in like the film itself. So already we can tell there's some sort of stylistic crossover from these films. But yeah, let's jump right in. Obviously this is going to be all in Japanese. This is a Japanese trailer and all that, so at least for now we don't have one in English, so I won't really be able to know what they're saying unless there's subtitles, which there was plenty of in Shin Godzilla, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, let's go. Okay, you could definitely see there's visually very similar to Shin Godzilla. There's a lot of the same, it looks like a lot of the same actors even, but the cinematography is very similar. Like this scene right here, if you told me this was a scene in Shin Godzilla, I would flat out believe you, and I've seen Shin Godzilla numerous times, so this is very, very reminiscent. Same, like, just the same film way of filming everything, but it looks cool. I totally love the cinematography in Shin Godzilla. Like these weird shots like this, it really helped liven up that film so much, especially in the more, what would typically be considered the more boring scenes in the film. It's just really creative, really fun to look at, honestly. Nice clean look to the film as well. Let's see, lots of boardroom meetings and stuff like that. But here, we start to jump into the kaiju action, and whoa, I don't know. The CGI is, like, this monster here looks awesome, by the way, just design-wise. I absolutely adore the design of just the Ultraman kaiju in general, or the, you know, Toho Godzilla Ultraman as a whole. That just type of kaiju I completely love, and this thing looks really cool. I wonder what's the name of this kaiju. It's probably, I'd assume, a classic Ultraman kaiju that they've brought back for this. And we got some more here, this weird looking thing of a drill face. But the thing is, the CGI, I don't know, maybe it's just not as finished, or maybe they just didn't have the same resources as they did for Shin Godzilla, but this is very video gamey looking CGI, which is a shame, because, like, look at the surroundings. It's like beautifully shot, everything else as well around this thing. It's just, the creatures themselves, they're very video gamey. Now, Shin Godzilla did have some pretty video gamey shots here and there, but there were also shots in that film, in fact the majority of the time they did show Godzilla, where it was probably the very best CGI I've ever seen on a kaiju to date. Like, it looked the most photorealistic I've seen, especially in some of those close-ups of his face and stuff like that. So to kind of jump to this, and to not have the, you know, the rubber suits and the practical effects, which I completely adore and honestly really miss, is a bit of a bummer. I'm gonna be honest. But I do love the creature designs. Ultraman, it looks really cool. He's just straight up a very classic looking Ultraman design. He just looks like Ultraman. So that's really, really cool. I do really love it when remakes and stuff like that are just straight up faithful to the characters. They don't really try and push stuff too far and be like, we reimagined the wheel. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it works. Like, with the stuff they did with Shin Godzilla, I completely love, because they just went all out with Shin Godzilla. But this is looking a lot more traditional. But yeah, again, very CGI-ish. It's less noticeable on Ultraman himself. He's got a nice kind of stagger to his walk. It's not like smooth and what's it called? It's not like too smooth and unrealistic. It actually kind of has a slight sway to it, and you notice a lot of the time, especially in Shin Godzilla, the camera movements were very organic feeling, so it really helped you feel like you're in the action, even amongst all the kaiju and stuff like that. So there's kind of like a subtle handheld element, which I think works really well in these films. Also really love the soundtrack to this. I wonder if it's, oh man, what was his name? The guy who did the original music in Shin Godzilla, and he also did it in the Evangelion films. I'm always cursing myself because I always forget his name, but I absolutely love his work. And this could very well be by him, I'm not sure, but I hope he does some stuff in this. If not, I still love this really percussive style they've got going for this trailer. It really fits. I am wondering, imagine if this film was actually a sequel to Shin Godzilla, or set in the Shin Godzilla universe, where, like, you know, the world's first exposure to kaiju starts off with Godzilla himself, but then this whole Ultraman thing starts up after that, either connected to Godzilla or just completely independent. That could be pretty sweet, actually, and the sheer look of this film looks like it could definitely be a thing. Love the cinematography, by the way, here with like all the shots of the electrical wires and and Ultraman just kind of behind that. That's definitely something we saw a lot of in Shin Godzilla that I loved. I'm excited, honestly. Really have been wanting to get into Ultraman for quite a while, and this is definitely gonna be like my major stepping stone, I'd say, into that world. But it's gonna come out sometime this year, so I will definitely have more updates as more trailers and stuff drops for this film. And I will keep you guys posted, and hopefully, and I'll definitely do a review of when I actually see it and all that good stuff. I didn't really know what to expect, but it is like basically as close as it can be to just being Shin Godzilla, but with Ultraman. My only gripes are again CGI for the monsters. Like, it's nice and expressive, and like I keep saying, this monster design here in particular, I'm really digging. I'm loving this thing. It's like a weird Baragon type creature, looking really cool. Love the scaling on him, but I really hope this is unfinished CGI, because this is like PS4 level graphics. You know what I mean? I love practical effects, and that is like one of the things that is the main drive that I have to watch kaiju films in general, is to see practical effects. So I'm not liking this sort of pulling away from those in the industry that they've been doing as of late, especially with the MonsterVerse films and the Shin Godzilla as well. Even though I have no quarrels with Shin Godzilla, it's one of my greatest films of all time and all that good stuff. But still, there's just something about practical effects that you really kind of feel when you're just seeing stuff like this. But I think perhaps, you know, the cinematography, the storyline, and all that good stuff will make up for that. Fingers crossed. I wonder if they're going to have the same origin as originally with Ultraman, because I don't know much about him, but I know it's something to do with like an alien creature basically merges with a person and gives them superpowers. Is kind of how the dude becomes Ultraman, and then he like grows into Ultraman. So I wonder if they'll do that. We'll see. This will be interesting. Anyhows, that's it for this little trailer reaction. I am going to do my trailer reaction to Godzilla Singular Point now, because that's another one that I've been trying to get time out of my day to actually do, because I've been super excited for the second trailer for that, so I'm about to film that. So I'm gonna see you in that video, but until then, my Oleo Vinyl, be a rated vinyl, over and out. Bye.